You do not engage what you cannot penetrate. That was the rule. It wasn't written in any field manual, but every German tanker in 1941 understood it. Armor versus firepower. Steel versus steel. If your gun couldn't punch through the enemy's armor, you disengaged. You maneuvered. You called in support, because anything else was suicide. For years, the German panzer divisions had lived by a simple truth. They were superior. Better trained, better coordinated, faster. Their tanks, like the Panzer III and IV, weren't always the heaviest, but they didn't need to be. Blitzkrieg wasn't about brute force. It was about speed, precision, shock. Poland collapsed in weeks. France fell in just 6. And now in June 1941, Germany turns east. Operation Barbarossa. Over 3 million men, 3,500 tanks, the largest invasion in human history. The assumption is simple. The Soviet Union will break just like everyone else. But there's something the Germans don't know. A machine, a design, a threat they never accounted for. And on a dusty road somewhere near the Soviet frontier, one German officer is about to come face to face with it. And in that moment, the rule will shatter. You are Oberleutnant Hans Becker, 32 years old, a career officer, calm under pressure, methodical, the kind of man who trusts his training because his training has never failed him. You command a Panzer III. It's a solid machine, reliable, armed with a 50mm gun capable of knocking out most enemy armor at 800 to 1,000 meters. Your crew knows it inside out. Loader, gunner, driver. Each man drilled to perfection. You've already crossed deep into Soviet territory. The first weeks of Barbarossa feel almost easy. Soviet units retreat in disarray. Tanks abandoned, infantry scattered, entire formations collapsing before your advance. You've seen their armor, the BT tanks, fast but lightly armored, easy kills, the T-34 obsolete, thin-skinned. One shot, one kill. You start to believe what everyone back in Berlin is saying. This war will be over by Christmas. But then come the reports, strange ones, new Soviet tanks, heavier, harder to kill. Crews whisper about shells bouncing off armor, about guns that shouldn't fail, failing. Command dismisses it, probably exaggerated. Battlefield confusion. You believe that too, because you have to. Until the morning, everything changes. It begins with dust on the horizon. Your column is advancing along a narrow road, engines rumbling, tracks grinding through dry earth. Then your radio crackles. Enemy armor spotted ahead. You signal halt. Your crew snaps into position. Hatches close. The world narrows to periscopes, optics steel. Through your sight, you see it. At first, it doesn't look like anything special. Low silhouette, sloped armor, wide tracks, but something about it feels wrong. Too solid, too purposeful. Range, 500 meters. You order the gunner to fire. The 50mm cannon barks. The shell streaks across the field and hits. A direct impact. You wait for the explosion, the fire, the kill. Nothing. The shell ricochets. You blink again. 200 meters. Second shot. Hit. Again. Nothing. The Soviet tank keeps moving. Closer now. 900 meters. You feel something cold settle in your chest. Armor piercing. Aim for the turret ring. Your gunner adjusts. Fires. The shot strikes perfectly. And bounces. It doesn't just fail. It bounces. The Soviet tank turns towards you. Now you see the gun. A massive barrel. Longer than anything you've faced before. 76mm. It fires. The sound is different, deeper, violent. The shell slams into the Panzer to your left. The turret disappears, metal tears. Flames erupt. The tank stops dead. You hear screaming over the radio. You realize something. Your gun cannot kill it, but its gun can kill you. Instantly, the distance closes. 700 meters, 600. You order maneuver, flank it, hit the sides. Your driver pushes forward. Tracks bite into dirt. The engine roars. Another German tank fires. Miss. The Soviet turret rotates with terrifying speed. Another shot. Another explosion. Another Panzer gone. This isn't a fight. This is an execution. At 500 meters, you fire again. The shell hits the side. For a moment. Hope. Then the angle deflects it. Still nothing. Closer, you say. Because what else is there? 400 meters. Your heart pounds. Sweat drips into your eyes. You are closing on something you cannot kill. 300 meters. You aim for the rear. The weakest point, the Soviet tank pivots again. It knows what you're doing. It knows. At 200 meters, you fire. The shell strikes the engine deck. A spark, a dent, no penetration, no fire, no kill. The Soviet gun fires. The world erupts. Your tank lurches. The inside fills with smoke and heat. Metal screams. You're hit. Not destroyed. Not yet. But you know you cannot win this. And in that moment, everything you believe collapses. Asterisk mid-roll, zita. If you find this kind of forgotten military history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, shock, and battlefield reality deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't never forgotten. The engagement ends not with victory, but with survival. German units pull back, artillery is called in, anti-tank guns repositioned. It takes everything, 88mm flak guns, coordinated strikes, sheer numbers, to finally destroy what you now know is called the T-34. But the damage is already done, not to your tank, to your certainty. Because this wasn't supposed to happen. What you experienced that day wasn't isolated. Across the Eastern Front, German units report the same thing. Shells bouncing, guns failing. Entire formations stalled by a tank they were never prepared to face. The T-34. Sloped armor that deflects incoming fire. Wide tracks that glide through mud where German tanks sink. A powerful 76mm gun that outranges and outguns most of what Germany fields in 1941. German high command is stunned. Engineers scramble to understand it. How did the Soviets build something like this? In secret. What they didn't know was that the T-34 had been in development for years. Tested, refined, designed not just for power, but for the brutal terrain of Russia. And now, it's here. The impact is immediate. German tactics change. They have to. Panzer crews are ordered to avoid direct engagement. Flanking maneuvers become essential. Air support becomes critical. And most importantly, new tanks are demanded. The Panther, the Tiger, heavier, stronger, designed specifically to counter what you encountered that day. But those tanks won't arrive in time to save the momentum of Barbarossa, because for the first time, Germany has met something it cannot easily defeat. And the illusion of invincibility begins to crack. Hans Becker survives the war, but he never forgets that moment. The moment his shell bounced, the moment the rules stopped applying, the moment he realized they were no longer the hunters, they were the hunted. Thousands of German tankers would face the same realization. Some wouldn't survive it. And the T-34 would go on to become one of the most influential tanks in history, produced in massive numbers, shaping battles from Moscow to Berlin. But beyond the steel and the strategy, there's something deeper, a lesson. Because every war begins with assumptions, with rules that feel unbreakable, until one moment, one machine, one encounter proves they were never rules at all, just beliefs waiting to be shattered. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or country, and tell us if someone in your family served. And thank you for ensuring that Hans Becker and the thousands of men who faced the T-34 for the first time do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.